maybe I'm a little bit simple-minded and I don't want to be heartless here and somebody correct me if you think I'm wrong. I'm more than willing to hear somebody else's opinion, but I am just a little bit, I'm just a little bit confused here. There's just some things that I am totally not understanding. Totally not understanding. So if some of you out there think that you can explain this to me, I am more than willing to listen to what you have to say. Let's talk for a minute about well, there's different kinds of disasters. There's disasters that we have lead time. I'm sorry, I'm all crooked here. There's disasters that we have lead time on, that we have a certain amount of time given to us to get ourselves together. An expected disaster, hurricane, is a disaster that we have quite a lot of lead time on. Now, you may not know for sure if it's going to come right over your rooftop, but you know it's coming over somebody's rooftop, and it might come over your rooftop if you're in the path of destruction. So, you know, uh, an earthquake, you don't get any lead time on that. I mean, you could watch the reports about seismic activity, but they're really not. I don't think they're predictable. Not very predictable. I mean, you can kind of get a picture, but they discontinued that lovely page on the USGS site that they had that I was watching on a regular basis. You could just tell one glance what was going on, and now you can't. And I'm highly frustrated of all the money that things that they spend money on. That would have been something that would have been real nice to continue, but it's gone. So, anyways, earthquakes to me are in a different category. A car accident is in a different category. A chemical spill is in a different category. Sometimes floods are, sometimes not. A drought is kind of something that creeps up slowly on you. And a hurricane, this last hurricane, trust me, this goes on for days, okay? My body feels so bad in the days ahead of a hurricane. I'm in such horrific pain, usually just unbearable pain. I don't know why. But when there's a hurricane brewing, I can feel it days before. And we're not even in the path. Well, we kind of were this time. But um, so this hurricane was out there and I was paying attention to it days. We're talking longer than a week. Okay. Longer than a week ahead. So forgive me. Please forgive me. I don't understand. I don't understand how or why anyone, especially if you have children, especially those kids depend on you. There were children that lost their lives that were, you know, just sad, tragic situations. If you know 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days in advance that a hurricane might be knocking on your door, what do? You get the heck out of the way. That's the first thing you do. You find a way to get out of the way. Um, I actually had a relative who was in the area and decided to stay in the area and was totally fine. It was pretty much right in the path of the hurricane. Right in the path of the hurricane. And it was fine. My relative was fine. Um, However, the relative was issued an invitation to come here to stay where we had electricity and, warmth and showers and food and what have you. Okay, I'm just highly frustrated here. Okay, so you have all this lead time, and then you stay there and drain the resources that are available because there are people trying to rescue you, get you out of harm's way after the harm is already there. And I would do almost anything to get out of the path of a hurricane. I'm thinking, okay, so if you didn't have any money, you could somehow, some way come up with enough money for a tank or two of gas. Even if you had to stand in the streets of New York with a little sign that says, I have two children trying to get money for gas to get out of the storm, I bet you could come up with enough money for 2 tanks of gas to get out of the path of the storm. You could show up in any town that's out of the way, and you could contact the Salvation Army or the Red Cross, or you could contact pastors of churches. You're going to find somebody who will help you. And if not, there are public buildings that you can spend the daytime in. Um, libraries. There are shopping malls, stores that you can spend the daytime in. You could sleep in your car at night if you had to. It would save your children's life. It would save your children's life if you drove to a town that was far away from the coast, spent the daytime at Walmart, the public library. I can't even think of other public buildings right now. But stores, shopping malls, you could put your kid down on a cushioned seat in the shopping mall if you had no place else to go and let them take a nap. And you could sleep in your car at nighttime. That is a possibility. Okay, so there are things that you could do to save your children's lives. But to sit in the path of disaster, I don't understand. And then to get on TV and say, we need help, this is going to stop. I'm going to have to put this into. I have problems with these once they go over 5 minutes. I think I'm going to do a part two. Hang on.